Hello, fellow movie snobs. So I think I deserve the Film Critic of the Year award because I sat through the entire movie of Gone Girl. And I'm not saying that because the movie was terrible, it was just excruciatingly long. This movie is based off of the book by Gillian Flynn, starring Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike, and directed by David Fincher. So let's talk about the plot. The story was great, it was intricate, delightful, enigmatic,
I'd finally realized I am frightened of my own husband.
and long. So Nick and Amy Dunn are just the average couple.
Everyone told us marriage is hard work. Not for me and Nick.
Then one day she mysteriously disappears. And if you watch as much Law & Order SVU as I do, then you know that the cops always start with the spouse as the suspect.
As you all know, my wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago. I had nothing to do with the disappearance of my wife. I have nothing to hide.
And that's all I can say without giving the story away. But I can't go any further unless I address the subject of this movie being long. You see, the screenplay was written solely by the author of the book, so my guess is that she didn't want anything to be cut from the film. Also, the way the film was edited and how the story seemed like it was going to end at certain parts. But then it just kept going, and the difference between this movie and something like Lord of the Rings is action. Gone Girl is a thriller, but nothing exciting happens. It's just basically scene after scene with endless dialogue and voiceovers.
I will practice believing my husband loves me, but I could be wrong.
With all of that being said though, the acting in the movie was fantastic. I see Rosamund Pike in a whole new light. This role is entirely different from her previous parts. Now, the moment I've been waiting for since last year, and it's this week's Future Feature. Mockingjay Part 1 is set to release on November 21st.
I never wanted any of this. I never wanted to be in the games. I just wanted to save my sister and keep PETA alive.
And unless you've been living under a rock for the past 3 years, then you know that this is the third installment of the Hunger Games. And if this movie is anything like Catching Fire, then it should be awesome. Oh, and another reason to go see this movie is Jennifer Lawrence. Enough said. Well, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Movie Snobs. If you have any movies that you want me to review, just hashtag Movie Snobs on Twitter at ZTV Goofing Off, and I will see you at the theater.